What up, guys? I was thinking about the Premise group today and wondered, does Call of Duty need Premise or Ultimis to be successful in the zombies department? Well, I'm gonna dig deep and give my opinion on whether they need Premise or Ultimis for zombies to be great again, or COD zombies not needing Premise or Ultimis to be successful again. A lot of y'all aren't subscribed and it's free. Let's reach 500 subs so we can make the algorithm. The Premise group, who's been a part of zombies since the beginning, starting with being introduced in Shinonuma. Before even killing any zombies, they were introduced in the loading screen of Shinonuma. Dempsey, Takeo, Nikolai, and Richtofen, being along with us as far as Black Ops 4 Alpha Omega. When I mention Premise, I mean these four characters in whatever universe. The Premise group was brought up in a horror survival genre, with the World at War maps being horror and its tone and gore, surviving with weapons against the Nazi zombies, one of them even being a Nazi facility. Did I also mention Hellhounds being added? The maps we get to play with these characters were scary, being heavy oriented when it comes to traps, because that's the only way you're able to go to high rounds, because bullets and bullet damage will have a huge decrease the higher rounds you get. World at War doubling down on the survival horror genre, which is going to make more sense the more I get into this video. Black Ops 1 with Ultimis being in majority of the zombie maps, which would be 8 zombie maps I'm pretty sure, making the zombie experience still horror and survival, making our characters even more egotistical and stereotypical, being a Nazi German scientist, an American Marine corporal, a Soviet Red Army sergeant, and a Japanese Army captain. For the maps that didn't have these characters, we had celebrity casts like Call of the Dead, with our group still being implemented and heard when doing the Easter egg, or even on 5, Richtofen having a painting of himself in the Pentagon. Black Ops 1 was still a horror survival game with Easter eggs that made you understand the backstory and what our characters were feeling or had plans to do in the future. And the memorable Easter eggs that always stick with me when I play Black Ops 1 definitely has to be the Ascension when you save Gersh and you have to do all that firepower on that white little speck in Black Ops 1 to free Gersh, or even on Moon where you free Samantha from the pyramid and you see her floating in the air, and when you even blow up the earth. These are memorable things that always stick with me just because on how iconic Black Ops 1 Zombies Easter eggs used to be. And how could I forget Richtofen being a little sickle switching bodies with Samantha. Black Ops 1 was really over the top, man, when it came to zombies. Having maps like 5 and Moon, which are unforgettable in the zombies community. Black Ops 2, where everything changed. We were introduced by the Victus group, the group that survived after we blew up Earth. Misty, Marlton, Samuel, and Russman. We started with our group on Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, which was more of an open world, an upside down skyscraper, and Resolution 1295, known as Buried. Going from Ultimis to Victus was a huge letdown. Victus being regular folks like you and me, having 2 Easter eggs now, Maxis or Richtofen, to understand the story and what Victus is supposed to do for these scientists. Mob of the Dead being a true calling for the older zombie horror, being trapped in Alcatraz. Also added quest items in an afterlife, which in Black Ops 2 was in your face instead of being hidden, being a bonus for learning about it. Black Ops 2 took that turn where a lot of Easter eggs felt like quests, with an HUD showing the quest items, characters mentioning Easter egg solutions. Now, this is where the Easter egg element took a turn for the worse or better, because after Victus being introduced and Mob the Dead crew being introduced, we got Premise, a younger group of Ultimis introduced in Origins, which was one of the fan favorite maps up to date, being a huge quest for our characters to secure a better tomorrow. Origins was a quest fetch Easter egg on the World War II battlefield. What great thinking, changing how zombies is being played, but also making the environment horror theme like the gruesome events of World War II. Now, Black Ops 2 I have mixed feelings about, But the one thing we all could agree on is that Mob of the Dead, Origins, and even Transit had elements of feeling like Black Ops 1 and World at War. Black Ops 3, with introducing another new crew, Nero, Jessica, Jack, and Floyd, did great adding a backstory to these characters before playing the game, which I have mixed feelings about because original characters you could hear and feel the backstory just playing the game. Just a nitpick of mine, like Nikolai having an addiction to vodka and talking about his 4th and 5th wife, or maybe Takeo taking such honor in serving his emperor, or Dempsey having so much honor in serving America, or maybe even Richtofen just being a complete psychopath. And these are things that you learn while playing with these characters instead of just watching a cutscene or an intro cutscene about these characters to have an understanding. Black Ops 3 being more of an action horror game could be argued, having zombie bosses in every map we play except the giant, and being action oriented, having crazy wonder weapons and specialists you're able to get via quest. The thing which why Black Ops 3 is the best zombies to date is because all the maps have a history behind the characters we love, like Ultimis or Premise, DE being a map for Dempsey, Zetsubo being a map for Takeo, Gorod Krovi being a map for Nikolai, and Richtofen having the giant and revelations to himself. In Black Ops 3 they changed the direction of what zombies used to be, but still paid homage and made Black Ops 3 revolve around our Ultimis or Premise group that we grew up and loved. That's why I love Black Ops 3. You get the best of both world elements of Origins and zombie maps dedicated to Premise, and above and beyond what we asked for. Bring me back to when they were making trailers like this for Black Ops 3. Oh my gosh, I'm editing this video and I just had to stop, man, because this is an absolute masterpiece, man. I'm gonna let this play through even through Black Ops 4 because this is just, yo, bring me back to when zombies was this great, man. Okay, back to the video. Black Ops 4 being introduced by another zombie crew. Do you see the trend here? Black Ops 4 being another action survival game, adding specialists and a variety of perks and custom loadouts, which in Black Ops 4 we have a new crew called the Chaos Crew, which also bringing back the old crew in Ultimis, so it's basically a split in between. Black Ops 4 feeling like an objective game, really steered away from the bare bones experience we had in Black Ops 1 and World at War, which isn't a bad thing because there's a lot to do in Black Ops 4, but the only difference between Black Ops 4 and the older Call of Duties is the progression system and the ways how to make it to high rounds, where in older Call of Duties you have to be aware of your bullets and weapons you get from the mystery box, but in Black Ops 4 you have to be really reliant on your specialists, gobblegums, and wonder weapons. And don't get me wrong, man, I really do enjoy Black Ops 4 for what it is, especially the Chaos Crew map. But the one thing we all can agree on is that Black Ops 4 did not live up to the hype of Black Ops 3. Cold War zombies, still bringing the elements from Black Ops 4 onto the Cold War engine, except bringing back the iconic perk systems that were missing in Black Ops 4. Now the thing about Cold War is Cold War doesn't even have a set zombie crew when you play. Just like every other Call of Duty since then, there was a trend that we always have a crew. Maybe the old crew would be coming back, but in Cold War they completely switched it up to the point where there is no zombie crew and there is no essence of characters you can rely on, or characters you even remember from Cold War Soul. They're very heavily reliant on the maps that you would remember. And honestly, there were a good couple maps on Cold War like D Machine, or even a map like Mauer der Toten that I really enjoyed. The other maps, you know, they were okay, like they were still fun, but they weren't up to par as D Machine and Mauer der Toten. And what Cold War did a little bit different in this game than in Black Ops 4, aside from bringing back the OG perks, was you're able to spawn in with any weapon of your choice in Cold War. Now what I feel like in Cold War is they kind of steer away from the horror aspect, even bringing in the dark ether, but nothing or less, the mechanics in Cold War are literally probably one of the best mechanics we had in Call of Duty, and I still enjoy Cold War for what it is. I just wish they had a set crew, or I wish they had some characters that are really memorable in Cold War that makes me want to go back and play it even more. Now onto Black Ops 6, where Black Ops 6 even has their own set crew, as in Carver, Maya, Samantha, and Weaver, and bringing back a lot of elements from Cold War, like the loadout system where you're able to spawn in with any weapon, and a field upgrade system where you're allowed to spawn in with any field upgrade of your choice. And also bringing back the buildable benches where you're allowed to buy any score streak, and bringing back no perk limit from Cold War. Black Ops 6 has some awesome maps like Terminus and Citadel, where you actually feel the horror in Terminus and Citadel, which Citadel feels like a World at War map. It's just the mechanics and the way how it's played, which it doesn't really feel like a World at War map. Like the scene it is, but the gameplay mechanics and the weapon mechanics and the field upgrade mechanics just don't match that. Now the question I was asking you guys before was, can Ultimis bring back the zombies? And what I mean by that is, can it bring back the hype from Black Ops all the way to Black Ops 3? And in my personal opinion, it is possible to bring back the hype without the Ultimas crew, but what they need to do is they need to go back to their roots, like go back to Noct, go back to Varrock. They gotta make it bare bones. They gotta make the zombie experience horror to bring back what zombies was made of and what zombies we grew up on as kids. And I love the action-packed zombies that we get nowadays. I love the horror aspect of zombies back in the day, but kind of like Resident Evil, what they did with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is what I think Treyarch or Activision itself need to do with Call of Duty Zombies. They need to reboot and bring back what brought zombie players together in the horror genre. You know what? Could you guys comment down below what map and what game you guys started playing zombies, and let me know down in the comment section below whether you think Ultimis is the reason why COD Zombies isn't as good as it was before, man. It's your boy Glitch, and I'm out this. Peace.